actually serious? All these things you are saying, you say, yes. Do you know that? They say, where is in the mental? That's the problem. It is a dangerous thing when people lie to themselves and they believe the lies. It simply means that they are living in an alternative world different from yours. No matter what you are saying, it's like just talking to the wall. You don't expect any response, in my own opinion. The other part of Koolu's lies. I speed up the video for a reason. But it sounded like it's kind of like, all right, it's not the usual, I know, it's awkward. Koolu.
Our administration is setting things right now. I'm pleased to report that we have finally turned the corner. The worst is over, I say. Yesterday's pains are giving way to relief. I salute your endurance, support, and understanding. I will continue to work for you and justify the confidence you repose in me to steer the ship of our nation to a safer harbor. Under our leadership, our economy is recovering fast, and the reforms we started over 2 years ago are delivering tangible results. The second quarter 2025 gross domestic product grew by 4.23%. That's Nigeria's fastest pace in 4 years and outpaced the 3.4% projected by the International Monetary Fund. Inflation declined to 20.12% in August 2025, the lowest level in 3 years. The administration is working diligently to boost agricultural production and ensure food security to reducing food costs. In the last 2 years of our administration, we've achieved 12 remarkable economic milestones as a result of the implementation of our sound fiscal and monetary policies. We have attained a record-breaking increase in non-oil revenue, achieving 2025 target by August with over 20 trillion naira. In September 2025 alone, we raised 3.65 trillion. That is 411% higher than the amount raised in May year 2023. We have restored physical health. Our debt service to revenue ratio has been significantly reduced from 97% to below 50%. We have paid down the infamous ways and means advances that threaten our economic stability and triggered inflation. Following the removal of the corrupt petroleum subsidy, we have freed up trillions of naira for targeted investment in the real economy and social programs for the most vulnerable, as well as all tiers of government. We have a stronger foreign reserve position today than 3 years ago. Our external reserves increased to 42.03 billion this September, the highest since 2019. Our tax to GDP ratio has risen to 13.5% from less than 10%. The ratio is expected to increase further when new tax law takes effect in January. The tax law is not about increasing the burden on existing taxpayers, but about expanding the base to build the Nigeria we deserve and providing tax relief to low-income earners. We are now a net exporter. Nigeria has recorded a trade surplus for 5 consecutive quarters. We are now selling more to the world than we are buying, a fundamental shift that strengthens our currency and creates jobs at home. Nigeria's trade surplus increased by 44.3% in the second quarter of year 2025 to 7.46 trillion. That is $4.74 billion, the largest in about 3 years. Goods manufactured in Nigeria and exported jumped by 173%. Non-oil export as a component of our export trade now represents 48% compared to oil exports, which account for 52%. This is significant. This signals that we are diversifying our economy and foreign exchange sources outside oil and gas. Our oil production rebounded to 1.68 million barrels per day from barely 1 million in May 2023. The increase occurred due to improved security, new investments, and better stakeholder management in Niger Delta. Furthermore, the country has made notable advances by refining PMS domestically for the first time in 4 decades. It has also established itself as the continent's leading exporter of aviation fuel. The Naira has stabilized from the turbulence and volatility witnessed in 2023 and 2024. The gap between the official rate and the unofficial market has reduced substantially following FX reforms and fresh capital and remittance inflows. The multiple exchange rates, which fostered the corruption and arbitrage, are now part of history. Additionally, our currency rate against the dollar is no longer determined by the fluctuation in crude oil prices. Under the Social Investment Program, to support poor households and vulnerable Nigerians, 330 billion has been disbursed to 8 million households, many of whom have received either 1 or 2 out of 3 tranches of the 25,000 naira each. Coal mining recovered dramatically from a 22% decline in Q1 to 57.5% growth in second quarter of 2025, becoming one of the Nigerians.
Now tó ń fà máa òkúta tó wà ń bẹ̀ máa yọ kúrò ń bẹ̀ máa sàbí bàtà bá ń sa ẹ̀wà.
He's living in an alternative world, I told you. They will write all this fancy stuff, right? Word salad. They're just word salads. Somebody said that who is verifying all of this in Nigeria? Because they are not real. They are lies. Just something that you put together by supposed, economists, engineers, and or anybody who's got that probably like that kind of like a talent. You put them, they call them speech writers sometimes. They can put a very, very imaginary write-up for you that you'll be reading. Even you, you'll be wondering like, am I talking about myself like this? Is that me? Is this even real? There are people who are very good that way, speech writers. But they mock the real citizens who are supposed to have connection. You are supposed to be connected to what your president is saying. Every time the leader of a country is addressing the country, right? Millions of people would have 1 or 2 or 3 things to connect them to that speech. And that's why you realize that before a leader of a country will come and give speech, right? He would have this prep with his team who are going to chip in factual info and wherever they want to use propaganda too, right? So they are going to chip all of that in together into what he's going to go tell the country. Because when you finish speaking, the country will react. Those who are never mentioned, or they were never kind of like mentioned properly, or the sharing that you announced, some people are left out. So the reaction will follow. But for Tifnumbu, they just come and lie to them. Now you go call, ask yourself, say, machine and this Nigeria they are talking about another place. Yeah, you'll be the one like, hang on, no. Is it okay? Because there are questions you can ask that will put, what do you call it? That will put a seal on all the lies. Let's try this one. They are sharing, okay, let's start from that of economy that I mentioned in that speech. The economy has taken the corner. The exchange rates are stabilized. The cost of things will be coming down. So do you know in the textbook of APC, what is considered better is the standard they give to you. Now, look at it this way. These guys were the ones who told us This was when Nigeria was selling 1.5, 1.4 million barrels of crude oil under Egberi Jolantan. So this Nigeria had oil windfall. The Jolantan and his people, they stole the money, right? That a liter of petroleum in Nigeria shouldn't be more than 40 naira. So selling it to you then for 127 naira, they shut down the country. You can't remove that subsidy. That is the only thing that people are connected to the people. Bokwari called it, what is subsidy? Subsidy. Subsidy is a scam. Then Bokwari came. Subsidy increased by more than 3,000% under them, which means they paid more. And Nigerians even paid more. So things skyrocketed under Bokwari. A bag of rice of 7,500 naira during Jonathan's time jumped straight to over 30,000 naira. A dollar was officially 149 naira to $1. And in the black market, 200 naira, 199 naira, 202 naira. As at 2015, right? Then they came in. The corrupt government that was supposed to be saving money from crude oil, right? When Nigeria was selling crude oil and all that, suddenly, when these guys came in, a liter of petroleum jumped to, 160 something naira a liter. An exchange rate jumped straight up to like 600 naira to a dollar. Then it came down to, let's say, 420 naira to $1. And they expected everybody to share them up and say, wow, well done. The economy is coming down now. A bag of rice that jumped to 35,000 naira came down to maybe 30,000 naira because they increased minimum wage too. So that I could balance and say you could buy a bag of rice. Right? So, but that's the standard of APC. Nigeria that was generating over 7,000 megawatts of electricity when APC came in, before they came in, distributing over 5,000 of that, right? But when APC came in, Nigeria started declining. This is a fact, so declined. So Nigeria started generating just barely 5,000 megawatts and distributing 3,500 megawatts. And these criminals have been spending more money on propaganda to make people believe that, we have more light now. We are now having more light now. Because if you have light, if you have electricity, right, 20 hours a day, 15 hours a day, that automatically cancel those who have not seen that electricity for months, some for years. And others, they barely see it maybe once or twice in a week. But in the world of APC, you see that one that is getting 15 hours, 20 hours is more patriotic than those of you who are getting darkness and still complaining. Because to them, they will say, but they will get to you, now. They are working. Me, I can tell you, before now, we don't even used to have electricity. But now, Baba, if you come to my area, I barely use my generator again. Because to him, it's got electricity. So what are you talking about? That those who don't have, I never used to have too. But now I have. So why should we now condemn government for those who currently don't have? But the fact is that the country is not progressing; it is declining. But APC, Egbekegbe, continue to paint the picture of, hey, when Tinubu came in, a liter of petrol jumped to over 1,000 naira. What? And they told the people that it's okay. Then it came down to 850 naira, 860 naira. And they're like, see, everything is coming down. I was like, are you crazy? You are the guys who were mad because of 87 naira per liter. And some of you were crazy, like crazily mad because of 160 naira per liter. So 850 naira is fine because the economy is now taking a turn. That is the APC style. You don't get it because you are going to be forced to agree. A bag of rice jumped to over 120,000 naira at a point under this Tinubu. Today, you get that a bag of rice for 85,000, 80,000. The economy has turned the corner. Are you saying that it's not better now? Say, are you mad? A bag of rice used to be just 30,000 naira under Bukwari, and everybody was complaining. But they should be happy that it's 85,000. APC ways of telling you that everything is fine. 750,000 naira. Sorry, 750 naira. Rather, no, 720 naira to $1 was the black market rate as at 2023. Official rate is 420 naira. See the gap, 300 naira. That 300 naira gap was what Tinubu and his gang are now praising themselves to say it has stabilized when a dollar is now 1,600 naira. Things that ordinarily you would never believe anybody would be comfortable with. Now they have people, experts, telling you, explaining to you, you know what, in economy, in fact, they are doing well. I have to give it to them. If you look at the IMF, if you look at World Bank release, did you see that the inflation is coming down? Do you see, yeah. I went to the market the other day, a bag of rice is just 82,000 naira. And I was like, oh, things are coming down because, oh my God, like Stockholm syndrome, there seems to be like they are talking to that so good with that. They are so perfect in weaponizing your Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, but at least this is better than. So what happened to where it was back then? What happened to the devaluation of your currency that people who told you changing a dollar for 200 naira means Nigeria was finished. I mean, 445 naira means Nigeria was finished. And they are now telling you that it's actually very good as they are exchanging it for 1,600 naira. Now, what is Nigeria selling more to the world? Anybody? Because they always love to talk about diversification, in the infrastructural diversification. Because to them, they're talking to, they're talking to the Senate. That is the bunch of monkeys, like dumps, like that. Diversification. It must be something. What is that thing? The only guy who could help you talk about exporting something that is of value is Dangote, who have started exporting Jet 1 fuel, the aviation fuel, that one that they use kerosene plus, whatever they use for your aircraft. Dangote has been sending that to other African countries selling, right? He's actually selling as far as Europe. Dangote product there, yeah? Selling as far as Europe. I don't have the evidence now, but I've read it somewhere. When it comes to outside Nigeria, in 2024 alone, when the operation is they face that chaotic systemic sabotage or something, right? Dangote was said to have made over 360 something. No, sorry, I'm mixing it up. Like over 3 trillion naira worth of export of his PMS diesel Jet 1 outside. So that's something that you can say, oh, is measurable, but it is still oil and gas. So what is that non-oil sector that Nigeria is selling to the world and they are making more money from? What exactly? Agriculture? War? Or other mineral resources, non-oil, Abi? So they continue to make up all these things that when you begin to probe them, right, you will realize that they are not what they say they are. Just doctored book, lies, jargons. Maybe their non-oil money is actually your tax, all the ones they take from the border, the customs, and then all those other little big pockets they do. That leads to a lot of money, which they are very proud of. They have more money. We have more money now. But where is the money? Yeah? There is more. Well, I think some of you are already bored of Koolu and his lies, right? Let's listen to a little bit more, and then we'll call it off. I will go to something concerning this Nigeria at 65. Where's Nigeria going to be at? Nigeria at 70. So that would be like a year 2030, right? So Nigeria will be like 70 years. So if Koolu is still your president by then, he will still be reminding you of inheriting a bad economy. Okay, but it's now going to leave this country for you like on a very sound, better place. No matter waiting